Welcome to Time for Tech. It's time to talk about some Google Pixel Fold leaks. Right now, it's codenamed as Google Pivot, with 12GB of RAM and Google's own Tensor processor. A folding Pixel was initially cancelled, but it appears to be back in the works. The name for Google Pivot, the codename for the folding Pixel, was found on Geekbench, like many leaked phones do. The leak shows a prototype device with the same processor as the Pixel 6 and the Pixel 6 Pro. We don't know anything more at the moment, but there is a good chance that we could see something come out this time of year. All we need to do now is hope that there are any supply chain issues. It's not just Google though, Apple's working on their own folding phone too. I mean, who isn't at this point? The iPhone is being tested on multiple different prototypes with foldable displays. This could mean that there's either a fold or a flip version. That's probably wishful thinking though, given that Apple waits until the tech is pretty refined before releasing their own version of anything. There are also still too many compromises at the moment, so a release this year would be highly unlikely, even though Apple has a lot of patents out for this kind of tech. In the meantime, let's focus on what is coming out, the iPhone SE3. The SE2 came out back in the spring of 2020, and since the device is a less expensive model, it isn't coming out every year. Bloomberg's Mark Gurman wrote that the next event is going to take place in either March or April. At these spring Apple events, it's typical to see new iPads and Apple TVs, and more recently, the iPhone SE. A question is still out there, however. Will the SE finally get a redesign, or will it just stay in the same iPhone 8 chassis? That we don't know, along with what else will be coming out. But that's something to look forward to in a few months. Samsung at CES 2022 showed off a lot of folding and flexing tech. The Flex S can fold out into a big tablet, but that's honestly not the coolest part about it. I think that's reserved for the tech that went into the fold. The device has 3 layers of screen when folded, and when unfolding it, it comes out into an S shape. The Flex Note was another interesting take on foldable screens with a laptop, something we've only seen from Lenovo before. This form factor allows the device to be used as a large tablet when unfolded, and can double as a laptop at half fold. When closed up, it's only the size of a 13-inch laptop, which is pretty portable. Only big downside I can see with this is the typing experience. I'm not too sure if it'd be comfortable to type on glass all day, but nonetheless, these are still really cool. The OnePlus 10 is launching in a few days, and in typical OnePlus fashion, they're leaking stuff ahead of time. The design we've already taken a look at, but not the cameras. The Hasselblad branded sensors are improved this time around with a 150-degree ultra-wide camera. This is something that hasn't been seen at all on smartphones, and has a GoPro style to it. If you're not into the fisheye look, there will be an option to lower the degree count to 110 degrees for a more traditional looking lens. I'm excited to see what this year of cameras will offer, given that it's one area where OnePlus lags behind a little. Android 13 is coming out in a few months, and more features will start to leak as we get closer. But one thing that we do know of right now is something called Tap. This would allow people to cast music or media to their Google devices by moving close to them and tapping. This sounds a lot like what iPhones can do to HomePods, but with even more devices. This may only work on certain phones because the newer ultra-wideband tech that's built in, along with NFC. Tesla's Model S that was updated only 6 months ago already appears to have a refresh for 2022. This update brings a different looking tailgate along with new brake lights and headlights. The new headlights are now using matrix LEDs that can light up individual parts of the road and not illuminate oncoming vehicles. They can also project cool animations and text when starting up. These new Model S vehicles also all have a CCS connector and not Tesla's proprietary port. This could mean that Tesla is switching North American Teslas to CCS, or more likely, these updated cars are going into the European market instead. Well, that's it for this episode of Time for Tech. Come back next week for more. Give this video a like and consider subscribing to more tech content every week. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time on Tech Device News.